Hey, it's Kamori, and today we're going to talk about choosing cosplay sewing patterns. Now, when I first started cosplaying, pretty much the only pattern options were general sewing for regular garments, and occasionally pattern companies would have some historical inspired patterns. The character-specific patterns did exist over in Japan, but they were pretty hard to find, and even if you did see them, they were usually pretty low-resolution pictures on Google Images. Now that cosplay has become more mainstream, we're seeing big-name pattern companies create character-specific tutorials, and also seeing indie pattern companies and individual cosplayers making patterns as well. Even with there being so many new character-specific patterns available, there are still so many characters out there and so many new series coming out every month that it can be hard to find the exact character you're looking for. So, what do you do then? Well, the two main pattern making techniques usually talked about are drafting using mathematic, or by pinning fabric and draping it onto your dress form and manipulating it to get the desired shape. However, both of these can require a lot of experience and personally are things that I am still getting the hang of. For this reason, my favorite method is to take commercial patterns and alter them to fit the character. A straightforward example of this is my Asuka cosplay from Evangelion, and for her yellow sundress we just need a bodice that has a sweetheart neckline, and her straps are ribbons that tie on either shoulder, and then she's got a skirt that has a little bit of a flowiness to it. So I found the next closest pattern I could find to it. So it has the neckline that we want of the bodice, and the skirt's a bit too long, but that's an easy fix. We'll just trim it so it's shorter, and we'll change the straps, so instead of tying behind the neck, we'll just change it so there is a rectangle on each side that'll tie together at the shoulders. Now let's move on to an example that's a little bit more complex. So looking at Stockings Costume, there are a lot of things going on and it initially looks really complicated. But let's break it down into the most basic components and shapes. So underneath we have a dress that has small straps, a piece that goes across the front, two blue stripes, and then a skirt that's pretty full with a blue stripe across it. Then she also has her corset, and taking away all the ruffles, it's just a basic corset that is flat at the top and pointed at the bottom. Then she has her hair bows and some striped stockings and her arm stockings. So when it's broken down, it's not all that complex of a shape. So now we need to find patterns that match. So for the dress, I'm using this pattern that has the bodice that has the strip that goes across it and also has the option for thin straps. The skirt is not as full, but that's okay because there is a line across the pattern because the bodice is being sewn onto the skirt, so it's really easy to just not put that skirt on there and switch it out with another skirt that's a bit fuller. Now for the corset, we need a corset that covers a large part of the body, like this one does. Now if we flip it over, the particular corset on this one, goes around the body a fair amount, but the problem is that it has a little point at the top and no point at the bottom. This is pretty easy. So we're just going to cut off the point at the top and elongate the bottom of the corset so that there is a point at the bottom. Then for her arm stockings, there's already a pattern for those. And for her footless stockings, we can make these, except we'll just use fabric that has stripes on it, or just sew pieces of fabric together to create a striped fabric. Since Stockings bodice has those blue stripes on it, where the pattern we're using does not, I just made a quick mock-up out of some scrap fabric following the pattern. Then I drew where the blue stripes were going to be, cut apart the mock-up and used that as the new pattern for her bodice. And this is what the bodice looks like with the blue stripes added, the silver piece across the top, and I sewed some lace to create that stripe in the center. Similarly for her corset, once I had the base corset out of the silver material, I then went back in and sewed on top all of the little details such as the lace and the ribbons. And that was a quick intro into cosplay sewing patterns. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any other suggestions for any topics you'd like to see me cover, let me know in the comments below. And please subscribe for more cosplay sewing tutorial videos. Thank you so much for watching!